very rich in culture. We have the Punjab, the Balochistan, the Gilgit-Baltistan, the Sindh, and the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Culture is the basic and the ancient way of lifestyle. So today we have with us Mr. Ham Khan. Thank you so much for having us, ma'am. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I am perfectly fine. So today's event is about Pakhtun culture and everything. So I would like to ask, why do you think the revival is important and needed?
I think that the Pakhtun culture and Pakhtun people for a very long time have been stigmatized, and the association with Pakhtun culture in recent times has been one of extremism, of terrorism, of primitiveness, and certainly a lot of direction has been or emphasis has been on violence, and that the culture promotes violence. And I just felt that I think that a revival is needed purely because these are not the values that we would define Pakhtun culture with. And we have a very strong code of honor, which I think people have forgotten. And it's very important for Pakhtuns to take pride in their culture and their roots going back to tradition. The trouble with the recent times, the revival has been on a very superficial level. It is to do with music, it is to do with a little bit of rabab playing, and I see a lot of, which is encouraging, that a lot of people are actually encouraging it. So through music and art, of course, this is the first step of a revival. But the revival that I want to see is actually a Pakhtun revival of our Pakhtun Wali, or the code of honor, the rules and the principles, the ideology. And that ideology, I think a lot of people will be familiar with it, but we just need to jog up the memory that it is one of hospitality. It is one of very sincere friendship. So if you're friends with us, and if you happen to be our guest, we will make sure that you are looked after. We can even give our life for you. However, there is another side, that if anyone cheats us or is deceptive, is deceitful, then there is that warrior blood also. But that only comes into play when our honor is challenged. We have very honorable tradition and an honorable background, and I think that we have lost that pride in ourselves. I think a lot of it has to be again with the narrative that has been enforced on us. So we've become embarrassed of being, I suppose, Pakhtun or even Muslim, because for a lot of people, when people talk about Pakhtunkhwa or Pakhtun people, they also associate Islam with it. And it's because a lot of, particularly the region I come from and my background, we are credited with bringing Islam here into the valleys and into the plains. And so that region has now become stigmatized or associated with extreme version of Islam or a violent sort of Islam. And that's some of the things that we need to correct. A lot of emphasis or a lot of negative connotations have been associated with the concept of our chadar and our burqa, and we take pride in that. That is our custom. It hasn't been superimposed on us. The other thing which obviously in recent times, since post 9/11, was the association of Talibanization with it, and a new debate about how suppression of women or there is an emphasis on women education. Again, this is a myth which I want to dispel, because I'm a woman and I live and I read the culture, I'm on my own here in Pakistan for the last 5 years. I go into very remote places. There are Pushtun people who are practicing Muslims. They don't have a problem with me. And these are the same men who we've been stigmatizing for a very long time. So I thought it's a good idea to sort of revive those, to take pride in ourselves.
Okay, that's a good way of presenting it. Also, ma'am, just a general question. What about the components of the whole Pakhtun culture? What are those? Just tell me, like, your favorite 3 components that you like.
I like the fact that we are honorable. So we give respect and we expect respect. We expect to be treated with dignity. We're not the sort of, part of being Pushtun means that we have pride in our culture. This is not to be, I get a lot of flack for maybe promoting or using the Pushtun card. It's not that I'm bigoted or racist or prejudiced. It's just that I'm very proud of my culture. I enjoy it. I want to go back to my roots. It doesn't mean that I don't appreciate other cultures. It's just that I have a better understanding of my culture. And also, in media, I find that there is no representation. For example, Punjabi or the Punjabi culture, we're all familiar with. Through films, through songs, even as Pushtuns, we may not be able to speak Punjabi, but we can sing in Punjabi. We know the Punjabi phrases. Our colloquial language, or Urdu, has a lot of Punjabi terms. Even in the UK, you have Punjabi influence, and of course, it is spoken has been for a very long time. I just felt that there wasn't a Pushtun voice, so this must not be confused with bigotry. It's just that I just want to promote it because it's not been promoted enough. But I'm quite happy in Kashmiri culture as well and Punjabi culture as well. The 3 components, so one is honor and respect, that you will treat me with dignity, and that my honor is very important to me, that I will not bend down or bow down except to God. That is a core component. The other one is of courage, the ability to fight for what you think is right, to fight for your principle. Cowardice has no place for it. And I want to be very clear that a lot of the people who have appreciated me make no distinction between me being a man or a woman, because you see, the blood is the same. It's the same blood and the genetic structure is the same, whether you're male or female. And so if a man can be courageous or stand up for what he believes in, why cannot a woman? And this is a very core Pushtun philosophy and ideology. Also, a lot of the Pushtun poets and writers have actually said that being Pushtun has probably not much to do with blood, but it is a state. It's a mental state. Anyone, anytime, can come into that. And Ghani Khan, says it very beautifully. That it's a kaifiyat. He describes it as you can, but it is of course misinterpreted in jokes and misrepresented. But and the third most, for me, that's also very important, is that for friendship or for love, we can give everything. So if we love you as a friend or as family, or we take you as family or guest, then you're everything for us. So we can sacrifice anything. We can even sacrifice our life. But if you wrong us, then you have to pay. Yeah. And that's a very core element. So I think these 3 elements actually sum up all of it, all the 7 elements. And I'm very proud of it. And so, I think sometimes things that sort of run in your blood or run through generations, even if you try to run away from them, you take a full circle and you're back to square one. So
that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. Ma'am, you said you are working for the revival. What are the other things that your foundation is working towards? Like this is one of the events. What are the other things that you're doing for reviving the event?
Actually, the foundation, Raham Khan Foundation, doesn't really work for the revival of Pushtun culture. It's just that we are heading towards the independence celebration, so I thought that we start with Pushtun revival, and then we can go on to Kashmiri revival, and we can go on to sort of a Punjabi revival. It's just that this is what I've done, so I'm asking other people to take the lead. Raham Khan Foundation actually works in for underprivileged people and deprived areas, so it doesn't really matter to me whether it is KP or Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. It can be Balochistan, it can be Kashmir. I make no distinction, or Punjab or Sindh, and indeed we have started work in Thar. because it is one of the most deprived and uh, you know, trouble-stricken area. But I understand my geography a little bit better. I speak the languages, and so it is easy for me. Access is also very easy. So Raham Khan Foundation is working for child rights, protection of children and their rights, eradication of child poverty, eradication of child labor. And with that, because we have a lot of child labor does originate from younger women getting married or dropping out of school. So the women rights and women protection is sort of interlinked. So it's actually across Pakistan. We've initially I started from KP, but actually already we're working in other regions. So this Pushtun revival is just sort of, you know, like I just thought we should do something fun because we're always working. It's just to appreciate the volunteers and our donors and those who've supported us all year. We just want to show tonight what we've done all year. But with that, you know, it's some nice music for you to enjoy also.
That's absolutely good. Ma'am, just one last question, which is do you want to give out a message for the 14 August coming up to the public that's going to watch you?
Well, yes, I do. You see, I'm driving around Pakistan and I have taken a full circle. So I've been to about 7 districts in the last week and a half. And everywhere I see Pakistani flags. Everywhere I see Pakistani flags. And it's wonderful to sort of, you know, the color green, and that's our identity. And it's lovely to see these flags being sold, and the flags on the cars, and the flags on the jeeps, and everywhere. And it's lovely to be singing the national anthem and the national songs. But I think patriotism has a lot more to do and goes a lot further than just buying Pakistani flags and lighting candles on 14th August. So this patriotism, I find, has to go to a deeper level. It shouldn't be just skin deep. And I think we get very angry when somebody attacks Pakistan, but I think that working hard for Pakistan, being the best image possible for Pakistan might be better. You don't have to paint your face green to be Pakistani. As long as if you go and promote an image that they're honest people, we're lovely people, we're pretty, you know, as wacky as anyone else in the world, we're pretty normal. Just because someone has a beard or someone wears a dupatta, we might dress differently, we may have different languages, but we're pretty as abnormal as anyone else. Because normality, I think, is a bit overrated. But I think that being Pakistani has to go beyond just holding these flags and, you know, sloganeering. It has to go towards going back to basics, what our forefathers did, working hard, being honest, looking out for each other, caring. And today, this is what I want to sort of highlight, the boys and girls who've worked very hard. And I'm very proud of them because I want us to go back to good Pakistani values. You know, people talk about Naya Pakistan and Naya Pakistan. I want to go back to the old Pakistan of our forefathers, where honest people and decent language and being well spoken was appreciated. There is nothing cool or modern about being brash and being rude and being offensive. I think you can win people over with love and respect, and I think those are our Pakistani values. I want our kids and our youngsters and some of the older people also to go back to old Pakistani values come this Independence Day.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for having us here. Thank you.